came into this lifetime with a very unique series of gifts, talents, abilities, ways to perceive people in the world around you that is very essential for the here and now and also for the times to come. This is an energy here with Messenger that a lot of you may be feeling pulled outside of the things that have usually sort of captivated your focus, and you're asking yourself those bigger questions. What more? What next? What more could I be doing for myself? What more could I be doing for others? What more could I be doing to utilize my time in this lifetime on this planet to actually leave a legacy that goes far beyond money and things and, reputation, footsteps that others will follow in generationally? This speaks to the energetic imprint, the etheric signature that a lot of you, it feels like, are becoming aware of your ability to fine tune that, or will become aware that there is a need to kind of incorporate that into a bit of precedence, kind of the vibe that you're putting out, the imprint that you will make on the etheric realm that lasts far beyond anything as far as generational wealth or legacy that you are creating in like a material sense, that speaks to utilizing those special talents, gifts, abilities, perceptions as a way to sort of further your journey through this life, materially and energetically speaking. For a lot of you, this is a process of grabbing those abilities inside of yourself, utilizing them very consciously, even if you are working on things in a mundane sense, if you're not drawn to, sort of contribute spiritually, like to the spiritual community, spiritual based business, anything like that, there may be something where it's almost kind of like understanding that even as you are working at mundane things, you still have the ability to, kind of affect spiritual currents, spiritual vibrations. There is a message within your energy signature that translates to people beyond a conscious level. It's just felt, it's just perceived. It is just recognized by that superlative consciousness that we all have, by that core consciousness that we all have. So deep within, and in the outer reaches of what kind of makes up each human individual. And for a lot of you, you're needing to kind of embrace this about yourself. You are this messenger. Work that you do on yourself, it helps to refine that energy signature, that imprint. It is the legacy that you leave, even if you don't do great and wonderful things. If you're not like the most famous person in the world, you're not the richest person, you're not the most influential person, you still are influencing. You're still making an impact. You are still shifting the tides around you, energetically speaking. And the legacy that leaves, that creates, it feels like is in alignment with something that is part of like your intended purpose for incarnating in the here and now. Communities that you find yourself within, or people that you will encounter further down the road, even past people when you were maybe less aware of such things, you weren't thinking about such things, focused on such things, you've had an impact nevertheless, that these are all very kind of precise coordinates. These are all very specific, because there is something about this energy of a messenger, what some people might like to define as a chosen one, that helps to kind of like stir stagnant energies within others and within the circumstances around you, that is like an essential service at this particular point in time in human history. This feels like you've embodied this role of a messenger many times before. You've been here before. Your soul just needs to remember that. Yes, you are moving amongst the human population, but you march to the beat of a very different drum. The idea of legacy, leaving a legacy, that is something very different for you than what it means for other people. And whether that is something on a very grand scale, or it is something that, again, is just felt within the vastness of the energetic sphere, This is an energy here that is encouraging you to start to embrace that title more for yourself, to start to really think about what that means for you, how you can direct your conscious attention to that, and how that may help to enhance or influence the way you are moving with purpose and with intention through the world around you. Looking at your interpersonal interactions and connections with more mindfulness, that nobody you've encountered is a coincidence. Nothing is accidental. Maybe for some people there are just arbitrary encounters, but for you it feels like it's something that it's very intentional. You are in specific places at specific times around specific people for a greater purpose. And you don't need to get lost in the minutia of sort of figuring out what that is for each individual, because it feels like it's the greater scope of that. Knowing that intention, that it's intentional, knowing that your soul intended for this to be so. You didn't volunteer for this position. It's who you are. It's what you are. You are a messenger. And how can that be something that you bring in to more of your dominantly understood identity? Even if it's something you're not shouting from the rooftops, you just hold that knowing inside of yourself. It feels like that's going to help to kind of build confidence or unlock doors to kind of greater energetic access inside of yourself, so that you will be more conscious of like directions to next move towards. That search for something more meaning, more purpose, asking yourself, shouldn't there be something more than this? It feels like the more that you kind of wear that costume, you wear that title, not as something borrowed, but as something that belongs to you, a messenger, that this is going to make those clues, those indicators, those opportunities that present themselves, they're going to shine like a light in the darkness. The things that you are meant to walk towards. Not that you just accidentally end up within, but that you are very consciously taking steps towards, knowing that it's all part of your legacy. It's part of kind of the greater effect that this lifetime, that your lifetime will have upon the grand cosmic scheme. We also have Star Keeper. So a lot of you may resonate with the idea of a starseed. You may have trouble kind of adjusting to the human experience, always feeling a little bit out of place, feeling like as much as you try, you just can't seem to fit in or blend in, or it sort of escapes you, the things that motivate others, and you're still questioning, you're still looking for something else, something more. Some of you may feel comfortable with the idea of factoring in on the neurodivergent spectrum. For some of you, although that might apply biologically, the way your brain is wired, the way that you physically take in and process the world around you, your sensory perceptions, your logic, the way your personality manifests, that there's a greater aspect to that instead of being some kind of outlier, somebody who doesn't quite fit in, there's a sense of being a very high vibrational being that has manifested into the here and now. And yes, it is something where you're not going to be like everybody else. You were never meant to be ordinary. You're not meant to be everybody's cup of tea. You are meant to be an acquired taste. You're somebody that is only for a select few. Only for a group of souls or a particular community or specific individuals who will understand you beyond the surface. That you carry certain cosmic frequencies within, certain cosmic blueprints from wherever it is in the stars that your soul has emanated from, or that you've spent many lifetimes crafting and fine-tuning and honing that vibration of spaces of time that are beyond the current understanding, the earthly understanding, the material experience that most people have. You did not just fall here to earth like, oops, accidentally you ended up here. There's something where you've almost kind of projected yourself here. You have come here very purposefully, very intentionally, in order to seed that frequency into this collective, into the human collective at this particular point in time. And you are not alone within that. For a lot of you, that idea of like a messenger or a starseed, that brings forth a lot of kind of stigma, a fear of being seen as different. You've been living in hiding. You've been trying to like cloak yourself. You've been trying to mask. You've been trying to pretend like you're like everybody else, but it doesn't quite work. It's not quite effective, or it takes a lot from you. It takes more energy than it returns to try and go through the motions, to dilute yourself down, to deny that deep personal truth that you know within, that there is something more about you, something out of the ordinary that factors into that realm of the extraordinary. And it feels like a big step forward towards self-liberation, and also coming into like full access to these gifts, these perceptions, these abilities to like operate on a vibrational and frequency level within you that are not something you have to earn. It's just like a part of you. You just need to learn how to reach for that, how to utilize that. It is by exploring those ideas. Starseed, messenger, maybe for even some of you, the idea of neurodivergence. You may be somebody that's like, well, I don't seem to be like other people where that term applies for them and how it manifests. So that can't be me. Well, maybe it is you. It's a spectrum of experience. So maybe for you, it's something different than it is for other people. As far as starseeds go, maybe like the popular associations that come with that word, it doesn't just seem to like fit for you. None of those planets, none of those star systems, none of those constellations, none of those kind of galactic origin points seem to fit in with what feels right for you. That everybody else is claiming they are from there, or they align with that, but you feel that it's not quite right. So maybe you're something else. There's a whole cosmos out there. And just because there's a couple places that are named as like hotspots, popular destination points or origin points, that doesn't mean that like everybody's only from there. That that's the only thing that exists. As far as that idea of a messenger, maybe that is a very loaded term for you. It comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with certain ideas. Other people who have claimed to be messengers, chosen ones, or that term has been applied to. Maybe the idea of that. Maybe those people's lived experience, how they manifested that. It doesn't fit in with who you are, what you are called to do, how you are connecting with that idea inside of yourself. Because it's not meant to. That was their experience. That's how it works for them or through them. For you, it's something different. So this is an energy here of kind of like setting your sights higher, using your mind as an exploratory portal to think outside of the box, come up with your own definitions, redefine things that have been sort of tried and true, what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing. Whatever that looks like that doesn't quite fit with you, it's because you're a step in another direction. You may be somebody that's beyond that idea of a messenger, even, that brings forth the message. It sets the sights forward towards something else. So you are maybe part of that next step, that next wave, that next link in a chain. Maybe you are the one to define that, to start to hold that in an undefined way inside of yourself and allow just your energy signature from that place. If you're not proclaiming that out loud to people or posting a lot about that on social media, maybe it's just an understanding you hold within. And that legacy is in that energetic knowing. And it forges a path forward for others to think outside of the box, to look beyond the definitions, to expand, to evolve, to explore the concept of themselves as messengers, as starseeds, what those messages from the cosmos might mean for them, or those messages from the core center within themselves. What is that saying? What is that indicating? We also have double mission. Yeah, so it feels like for a lot of you, you definitely have like some sort of material purpose. like a 3D thing that you're supposed to do. But then there's also a lot that you do energetically, a lot that you do in the higher realms. And this kind of brings to mind, like, even beyond 5D. Like, everybody loves that term, the 5D. That's like, that's the watering hole. That's the place where everybody gathers. It's the 5D. But there are so many spheres that are like above that. There are so many layers that are above that. For a lot of you, you're operating up on, the 20th D, the 100th D, the 1000th D. And you have something that you are meant to align with, meant to bring forth, meant to do in a 3D sense, where you bring those high vibrational energies all the way from the 1000th D onward. You anchor that down into the 3D sense. And as you go to your ordinary job, you're with your 3D family, your found family, your biological family, your co-workers, your neighbors, people in your community, your classmates. You're going to school, you're living your life, you're trying to get by, or you're building a dream for yourself. All of that is linked in with whatever those activities are, whatever those kind of motions are that are taking place beyond the conscious concepts of such things, in a place that you can't, even in meditation, reach. You can't touch upon that. You can only look up and see there's a frequency that goes beyond my conceptualization of it. And so for a lot of you, it is both that experience of like being in the world but not of it, feeling out of place and yet knowing you are here and therefore there is a place for you. It's operating in both of those polarities, where even the most basic things that you're doing, it drives forth or carries out some kind of mission, some kind of purpose, something very intentional. This being a very intentional lifetime for those of you that are resonating with this message. But then there's also something that factors in from those higher layers of reality that is the real legacy. That's the real imprint that you're going to create, that can't be interfered with. No one can, stop that for you. They can't destiny swap you. They can't thwart you. They can't meddle with that. Because it comes from a place that is beyond such machinations. It comes from a place that is beyond whatever the human mind could contrive, driven by forces of envy, jealousy, fear, hatred. It is up in that etheric plane where there is only love. And you exist here in the material world where there are all those other things. And so for a lot of you, it feels like the big breakthrough is knowing that yes, the things that you are doing in the here and now in the material world to arrive to a place where you feel good about the life that you are living, where you are moving in that direction of making changes where you can, and also understanding that you operate in that energy of perfection as compared to kind of all the variables of the material world, the material experience. In those higher dimensions, there's only that perfection. There's only oneness. And so your mission as this messenger, as this star keeper, as this star seed, even as this neurodivergent person, maybe that's the label you're most comfortable with, or no label at all, like whatever works for you. Maybe it's kind of moving through all of those things, trying all those different cloaks on for size. But you're ready to access that kind of understanding, that for as much as you are able to kind of grasp and sort of intentionally create for yourself as far as movement forward, things you're able to build, develop, call into your reality, cultivate for yourself, then there's also this kind of higher arena where you are also operating that is having that trickle-down effect through your energy into the world around you, the lives of the people that you touch. You're having impact upon future versions of yourself. You are healing previous versions of yourself. You are affecting change within your biological lineage, past, present, and future, within people that you'll never meet, and people that can't wait to meet you. You're operating in all of that simultaneously. And for a lot of you, you're ready to sort of embrace that as part of your calling, or to start to explore how you can bridge the distance between those concepts or those two worlds in order to live a more mindful, a more conscious, a more deliberate experience in the here and now, where you are offsetting those energies of fear with drawing down into you and through you that perfection of love that you have access to, because you are one of those unique souls who is here for a very intended purpose that goes just far beyond karma, suffering, learning what human life is about, the human experience. This is something where, like, yeah, you're doing that double mission. You're going through the motions of that because you're in a human body, but there's also this energetic aspect to you that transcends all of that. And it's the merging of those two selves that for a lot of you will represent the creation of a key that is very unique. It is just for you. It opens a door that only you can go through, that comes to a place of becoming more aware of what the concept of an aligned life will mean for you, not just now, but going forward. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.